Today I'm in a little bit of a different setup. I am actually in the town called Trebinje in Bosnia and Herzegovina, and this is actually nearly the end of my time in Bosnia. So I thought I'm going to tell you and show you why you should definitely come and see this beautiful country. I do apologize for the sound, and I'm filming this on the outside because I don't have a table like this and it's set up inside. The beauty of full-time travel, you never know where you're gonna be. But yeah, let's just crack on, and hopefully you can hear me well. So my 5 weeks in Bosnia is nearly over. In a few days I'm going to be traveling to Montenegro just for a few days because I'm actually traveling towards Albania. And I've been truly blown away by this country. So I really wanted to show you what this country is about. I believe that many people don't even know where this country is located and why you should be traveling here in the first place. Majority of the travelers would know about countries like Croatia or Montenegro. Albania that is coming up recently. But Bosnia, for some reason, is not as popular yet. A lot of people come here maybe just for 1 day or for 2 days, see Sarajevo, Mostar, and then just move on and go and see Croatia and other parts of Balkans. But I definitely think you should not be missing on visiting Bosnia for a little bit longer. What I'm going to do, I will show you the places I've visited. I'll show you some clips from those places, what's worth visiting and why is it so beautiful. And stick to the end because I will give you a few tips and some important information that might come useful when you actually come traveling in Bosnia and Herzegovina. So just before I arrived, I wasn't even sure what to expect. I don't even know why I never came here earlier, because Balkans is very popular destination among Polish people, and there's a lot of Polish people traveling to Croatia, Montenegro. But somehow I never really made my way here, so I've decided to change it, to fix it, and make my way through Balkans. So I wasn't really sure what to expect, but I'll be honest with you, I've been completely blown away. This is probably one of the greenest countries I have ever seen. There were points where I would compare it to places like Guatemala, which is full of rainforest and green lush jungle. This country is just so unspoiled. The nature is stunning, full of lakes, rivers. It's just incredible, and so I wanted to show this with you and share with you my journey. So what I'm going to do, I will tell you briefly which places I've been to and what you can see there, and after that I will give you those tips. So let's go, let's crack on. So I started in Banja Luka, where unfortunately I didn't film, but I have plenty of photos. I still need to work on making sure I actually film everything. Please forgive newbie YouTuber. So I've heard mixed opinions about Banja Luka before coming. Some say there's not much to see there and it's best to skip it. Others loved it. So I've decided to go there and see it myself. Banja Luka is the second largest city in Bosnia and Herzegovina, and the capital of the entity of Republic Srpska. It lies on the banks of the river Vrbas, and it's amazingly green. The walks along the river were like one of the highlights of my stay. Although the city has some remarkable sites, like for example the beautiful Orthodox Church of Ferhat Pasha Mosque, which is actually considered one of the most beautiful mosques in the region. It's not very touristy, not at all, and I do believe that this is the appeal of the town. If you visit Banja Luka, you just have to go and see the pre-Roman castle fortress. This is the most beautiful place in the whole town. Then I went to Jajce, which is mainly famous for its waterfall. The waterfall that runs through the middle of the town, which is very, very unusual. But there is actually so much more to see there. I spent a few days in Jajce. And what I really enjoyed, I liked walking to Pliva lakes. There are two lakes, small and bigger one, and there's also plenty of small waterfalls. Beautiful, beautiful nature, and Jajce is actually in Norway. But the town itself is very, very charming. It's actually medieval at parts. It's set on a steep hill with the citadel towering over the whole town. It's a stunning little place. I definitely recommend you go and visit Jajce. Finally, I arrived in Sarajevo, where I spent nearly 2 weeks. Sarajevo is one of the most fascinating cities I have ever visited. There is so much depth to the city, so much dramatic history, moments that changed the history of the whole world, turbulent war that left scars on its citizens. Take your time in Sarajevo. There's so much to the city. The old bazaar is beautiful, charming, and everything. There's everything you could have ever imagined. But please, if you go to Sarajevo, take also time to learn about its history. If you go to any of the museums dedicated to Bosnian War and the siege of Sarajevo, please be prepared. It's not for the faint-hearted, but I do believe it is kind of compulsory. There are tons of things to do in Sarajevo. One of them is walking on top of the Yellow Fortress for the best sunset views of the town. You can take a cable car to the Trebinje mountain, which is a great day out. You can walk along the abandoned bobsleigh tracks. It's a great day. I definitely recommend this. There's so many more things to do in Sarajevo, so try to spend at least 2-3 days there. I'm sure you will love it. After Sarajevo, I went to Mostar. Many travelers say that it's a one-day trip, and partially yes. You can see the famous bridge and the old town just in a couple of hours. But Mostar, yet again, is a great town. I would say stay outside of the old town, book your accommodation slightly outside of the old town, and see how people live there. Take trips to local little towns. Of course, take a trip to Kravice waterfalls and Blagaj, of course, but maybe also go to places like Jablanica or Drežnica. The train ride from Sarajevo to Mostar is incredible, one of the most beautiful train rides in Europe. And after this ride, I promise myself I will be back to see those wonders that I've seen through the window. So first I went to Jablanica Lake, which is gorgeous, and then I went to Drežnica, and this was the best day. The surroundings are stunning and so peaceful, totally unspoiled by excess tourism. You can, and you actually should, in my opinion, stay with Dino at Visit Drežnica. They have kayaks and bikes for rent, and as we speak, he's actually building jetty, like a dock for his boat, where he will also put some chairs and lights in the evening. I am so excited for this. This place is magical, and that's the only place in this area like that. I will put the link in the description in case you want to take a look and book it. By no means this is it's not sponsored or anything. I actually contacted them because I just wanted to see the place. So most of travelers to Mostar actually opt for an organized tour combining Blagaj, Počitelj and Kravice waterfalls. But I went to Počitelj and Blagaj by train and bus instead. And unfortunately, the Kravice trip was a bit too expensive for me, so I had to skip it this time. But hey, there's something to come back for. But if you can, you should definitely not miss the Kravice waterfalls. It's stunning. Mostar is one of the most beautiful places in Bosnia, but if you ask me, it is really hard to say what was the highlight. I can't just list one favorite thing. At the moment, I am in a cold town, Trebinje, and it's definitely exceeded my expectations yet again. It is much more sleepy and makes a really nice change after busy Mostar, and the surroundings of the town are spectacular. Trebinje's old town is super charming, definitely comes alive in the evening. And yeah, it's actually one of my favorite places in Bosnia and Herzegovina. So I definitely recommend visiting Trebinje. Yeah, so this is it. Those are the places that I visited in Bosnia and Herzegovina. So let me give you a few tips now and some information that might be useful if you decided to travel to Bosnia and Herzegovina, and I hope you did decide, and I hope you buying your ticket right now. But there's a few tips I wanted to mention, a few things that might be useful for a traveler. If I don't mention something or you have any additional questions, please ask the question in the comments. I will answer all of them. So first of all, as you could see, I've traveled throughout the country by public transport, mainly by buses. Buses here are comfortable, widely available, and you can get nearly everywhere by bus. By what I mean by nearly everywhere is really the most touristic places, touristic towns. Unfortunately, there's still some little gems that you can't get into by bus, and the only way to get there, like the Kravica waterfalls, and you can only get there either by taking an organized tour or driving a car. So you do have to keep that in mind. However, there is a big part of the country that you can see by bus. I do recommend buying the ticket in person as much as possible, because you might sometimes get some conflicting information. Always double check as well. If someone tells you that you can't get somewhere by bus, or you need to take a different bus, double check. Because, for example, when I was in Mostar, I knew that I want to travel from Mostar to Trebinje, where I am right now. I went to the bus station. There's two bus stations in Mostar, east and west. So I went to one of the bus stations and asked for the ticket for my Trebinje bus. And they said to me, no, you can't go from this bus station. You have to go from the other bus station, because the buses from the station don't stop in Trebinje. So I went to the other one, which was on completely other side of the town, and I was upset, because I was so happy that I won't have to travel with my backpack for half an hour to get to the bus station, and the other one was like half an hour walk. And yes, there was a bus from that train station. There was a bus from that bus station, but I decided to double check, and I checked online with Flixbus actually, and the bus that was stopping at the other further bus station was also stopping at the original bus station. And so what happened was, I went to one point at the bus station, which was blue, let's say, and because that was a different company, the operator wouldn't stop in Trebinje. But right next to that blue place, there was another one, which is Globtur, which is yellow. And that's a completely different operator. And they said to me, yes, you can travel from this bus station to Trebinje, we'll sell you the ticket. So always ask around. The information is unfortunately sometimes not so easy to obtain. But it's a beauty of travel. So, just be aware of that. Also, when you travel by bus, be aware that you will have to pay €1 or 2 Bosnian marks for the luggage hold. It's quite unusual. I've seen a lot of travelers being surprised by that, but I do believe that this is normal throughout the whole majority of Balkans, where you just pay €1 for them to hold your luggage. Unless you just have a hand luggage, then or a small backpack, then it doesn't really matter. There is a train in Bosnia, and even if you decide to take only buses, there is one train ride that you have to take. You just can't miss it. The train from Sarajevo to Mostar. I was told that this is one of the most beautiful train rides in Europe before I got on the train. And but yeah, I was a little bit skeptical, you never know. And then I just could not believe it. I was sitting on the train and I was just like looking this side, and I'm like, this is crazy. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this from the train. The view, the mountains, the river, the lakes, places that I've seen on that train ride made me come back to them once I've arrived in Mostar. You can take the bus. The bus also goes through some very picturesque places, but I do believe that the train ride is much better. You can also take a train to smaller places around Mostar. If you don't want to take a tour or you don't have a car, for example, if you want to see places like Tuunel, which is the medieval village, very, very much worth visiting. If you don't want to do it as a part of organized tour, or if you don't drive, you can take the train to the place called Chaplina. And unfortunately, from Chaplina, if you wanted to walk, it's an hour walk on a road, which is not the safest, but I found someone in my hostel and we just shared the cost. So from the Chaplina, we took the taxi to the Tuunel, which was 6 Bosnian marks, which is like €3 one way. And then you can either come back to Chaplina the same way and take the train back to Mostar, or you can take the taxi all the way back to Mostar. It's only worth it if you're sharing the taxi with somebody. So if you grab 1 or 2 people that you met in your hostel or your homestay, or you are there with a friend, it's a great way of travel. But other than that, buses all the way. And like I said, buses are comfortable and conditioned most of the time. Yeah. So what is an amazing thing in Bosnia is that the tap water is drinkable. It's not only drinkable, it's a great water, and it's available everywhere. Every town has water fountains, and everybody just fill up the bottles, and the water is delicious. It's I don't know if it's coming from the spring somewhere from the mountain. I did not research this, but yes, it's awesome. And basically just carry your water bottle and fill it up wherever you are. In every town that I've been to, there's less in Mostar for whatever reason, but there's a lot of them in Sarajevo. There's lovely one here in Trebinje as well, and they're very often very beautiful as well. Historic water fountains. So, okay, I have to stop now because someone's like walking.
Sorry.
No worries, that's fine. Definitely just bring your water bottle, you will have no issue. Please don't buy plastic bottles in Bosnia. Another thing, very important actually, Bosnia and Herzegovina is very, very affordable to travel for European standards. Of course, this is not the Southeast Asia, but it is very affordable to travel. Actually, for the summer months, that's probably one of the best locations if you want to travel and save money, alongside countries like Albania and North Macedonia, where I'm also heading. Spoiler alert. It's pretty affordable. Actually, my next video is going to be my budget breakdown. I'm going to tell you what I spent as a budget solo traveler throughout 5 months in Bosnia. So stay tuned, because this is going to be next video right after that one. So yeah, definitely if you want to travel around Europe in a beautiful place and enjoy Mediterranean climate, then yeah, definitely you should consider Bosnia, because it's very wallet friendly. When it comes to the climate, it's a little bit strange, because the further south you go, the more Mediterranean it becomes. So for example, while in the winter it snows, and it can snow quite heavily in places like Sarajevo, here in Trebinje or in Mostar, they experience more of a Spanish kind of winter with much milder weather and just maybe a little bit of snow. This is at least what I've been told by the locals. If I'm wrong and you're from around here, please comment as well and let us know if that's the truth. But it definitely feels like I'm in, weather-wise, it definitely feels more like I'm in Spain right now. Okay, so if you would ask me how long you actually need for traveling around Bosnia, the best answer is it depends. It really depends, because I see people coming here for 1 day. I see people coming here on a bus from Dubrovnik, or on an organized tour from Dubrovnik, Croatia, and they come and see Mostar and Kravica waterfalls, and they go back the same day. So of course you can see Mostar in 1 day, but I would definitely not call it visiting Bosnia and Herzegovina, because Bosnia and Herzegovina is much more than just Mostar and Kravica waterfalls. But if you were tight on time and you only wanted to spend a few days, you definitely can. You can travel from the north, for example, from places like Zagreb in Croatia, and you can see Sarajevo in a couple of days, maybe Mostar for 2-3 days, because you want to see the places around Mostar as well. However, there is so many incredible things to do. There's so much adventure around here. You can go hiking in one of the beautiful nature parks. There's stunning nature parks in Bosnia, and hiking here is very popular. You can do whitewater rafting. If you go to places like Konjic, you can do whitewater rafting. You can do zip lining, paragliding, whatever you like, whatever kind of adventure you like, you can definitely do it here. There's lots of different things you can see. You can see places like the traditional remote village of Lukomir, to which you can hike. There's lots of great things you can do in Bosnia. If you're traveling here for a little bit longer, you can get a SIM card. Local SIM card is always better. I actually got the one from BH Telecom. It cost me 30 marks, which is 15 euros, and I had 30 gigabytes, which I've only just recently run out of, and I've just topped up on the application. The coverage is great, and I think it's a good deal. I think I've covered everything that I wanted to cover. I hope you'll enjoy this video. If you have any questions, please ask them in the comments. I will answer them all as much as I can. If you are from Bosnia and Herzegovina and I made a mistake and did something that is not true, please verify that as well, because I wouldn't want to give some false information here. But stay tuned. The next one will be about the budget, in how much I spent while traveling in Bosnia, slow traveling in Bosnia. If you found it useful, entertaining, informative, or whatever, please consider subscribing. There will be definitely more of these coming up. Then yeah, and thank you for watching, and wherever you are in the world, please have a wonderful rest of the day, evening, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye.